Alright, it is Tuesday, March 22nd. I am currently visiting the EU Guild Wars 2 servers for a morning stream, and they just posted an ArenaNet Studio Update blog post. ArenaNet Studio Update, the future of Guild Wars 2. Hey Guild Wars 2 community, it's JT and Colin Johansson here, the studio leadership at ArenaNet. The past few weeks have been wild, and we're absolutely humbled by the reception to GW2 End of Dragons. The development team poured their hearts and souls into this expansion, which was developed from start to finish during one of the most challenging periods in our lives. We cannot thank the team hard enough for their hard work, attention to detail, and the dedication to the studio, the franchise, and also our fans. We also want to extend some gratitude to you, our community, and we're here today because of your support and trust. While the end of the Elder Dragon cycle might seem like a natural moment to start winding things down, we're happy to say loudly and emphatically that Guild Wars 2 has a bright future ahead of it. Last July, we said that we were making some big changes at the studio that are necessary to make our ambitious goals a reality. Since then, we've strengthened our leadership team, worked to improve our communication with all of you, and shipped the third expansion for Guild Wars 2. All true. We've also investigated a major foundational long-term projects. We've also invested in major foundational long-term projects to ensure the game's future, like DirectX 11, the Legendary Armory, and World v. World restructuring, which still is not out yet. Now they have just released a lot of content, but the last year they did address the meme, and they're like, when people say World v. World win this year, well, no, it's now 2022, so not that year. This long-term focus is paying off. We're seeing incredible growth in the community. In fact, the number of active Guild Wars 2 players has more than doubled over the last 3 years. I'm glad they're public with this. I feel like they are not public enough with their player numbers. Now, I realize some companies might think that that might be like shooting themselves in the foot, but so many people that are like, LOL dead game, LOL dead game, and I'm always defending it, and I'm always saying stuff like, I don't think it is. Like, I can't see their numbers, but I can see the number of people viewing my guides each day, and that number is going up. I think there's a lot of players. This is good to read. More than doubled over the last 3 years. This growth has helped Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons outsell our previous expansion, GW2 Path of Fire. Not bad for a game getting ready to celebrate its 10th anniversary. How we proceed from here, how we continue this momentum into the future, is something we've been spending a lot of time thinking about. Today we're ready to talk about the next phase. However, the details are best for the Guild Wars 2 leadership team to provide. For those of you who aren't familiar with them, we'll start with an introduction. Amy Liu, executive producer, she's responsible for the how and when of Guild Wars 2 development. She started as a game master and community manager of NCSoft in 2004 and spent 5 years working across NCSoft products. She joined ArenaNet for Guild Wars 2's launch in 2012 and has led many major projects and expansions and coordinated scheduling, staffing, resourcing, and project management while solving challenges at the studio level. Amy was also instrumental in helping ArenaNet Studio Department become the incredible triumph it is today. Josh Grouch Davis, aka Groucharoo, chat, he is a sub to this channel, is taking on the role of game director. He's responsible for the what and why of Guild Wars 2 development. He started as a Guild Wars 2 community content creator and joined the dev team in 2013. Hey, this means I have hope of being in charge there someday. Just throwing that out there. Allowing us to continue a long tradition of recruiting team members from our passionate player community, Josh returned to ArenaNet in early 2021 as the head of live operations for GW2, and has helped contribute to the growth and improvements to communication that we've seen over the last year. Between Amy, Josh, and the rest of the development team, Guild Wars 2 is in great hands. You'll be hearing a lot more of them going forward while we, Colin and JT, focus on operations and high-level leadership of the studio. Take it away, team! 2022 and beyond. Hi all, Josh and Amy here. We're so excited to talk about what's on the horizon for Guild Wars 2. Grab a snack, get comfortable, and settle in for a long one. Oh, wow. Okay, done. When we set out to build our plans for 2022 and beyond, we spent considerable time looking back on the last 10 years of the game's history, taking stock where we succeeded and where we fell short. We reviewed player and press feedback, spoke to those at the studio who were here for the highs and lows, and dug into the mountains of data covering the span of the game's operation. At the end of the process, it was clear that there were two key areas that we needed to address as part of our plans. Yeah, so I want to pause there for a second. So I don't know much about Amy. I know Groucharoo and Colin, they worked on the game like long ago, like, like Path of Fire and stuff like that. And then they left the studio for many years and they recently came back and they've been quite active. Like I remember when it was unveiled that Groucheroo was like, you know, back at ANET, and I didn't know him by name because it was before my time. He renewed his like 3rd month sub for me. I was like, wait, you've been here for 3 months? He's like, yeah, I haven't been allowed to say that I work for them again until now. Like, he was undercover. He was snooping. So, you know, there was a period in the middle where I know a couple of them weren't there. And then they came back later on, which was, you know, more recently. They have been very vocal about stuff since then, which has been good. All right, 2 key areas. First, we need to prioritize delivering consistent updates for our players. The release of Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons and the resolution of a story arc that was 10 years in the making feels like a fitting time to reevaluate the overall GW2 experience, specifically how we provide regular content updates to our players and what those updates contain. This means continuing to tell compelling stories that expand the world of Tyria while providing a better experience for those who enjoy game modes such as World v World, PvP, and endgame group content. Second, it's important that our plans allow our team to maintain a healthy work-life balance. We've always believed that our top priority is the health and well-being of our employees, and we're more committed to that more than ever. This will help ensure that the exceptional team behind GW2 End of Dragons expansion will continue to be happy to read it for years to come. I'll come back to that. Well, our work on this front will be largely invisible to you and will mostly focus on improving and planning our day-to-day development processes. Yeah, I was like, I hadn't really heard that, you know, they're like, I don't know, like the department heads are like cracking a whip over there or something like that. I don't know. Now I'm worried, but like, are y'all okay? Like, if they're like, you know what, we should be humane. Wait, were you not humane? Like, what happened before? Like, what was going on before that? So, okay, well, I hope they're fine. Now let's shift gears and talk about what the future holds. Full steam ahead. The Guild Wars 2 community has grown quite a bit over the last few years, but it could be even bigger. Now that GW2 End of Dragons is released, one of our top priorities as a studio is getting Guild Wars is going to be ready for Steam, and introducing the world of Tyria to an entirely new audience of gamers. Okay, so I've mentioned this many times, but I want to say it once for the video. Other MMOs that went to Steam. Black Desert Online, Terra, and that Star Wars one. When they went to Steam, their population more than doubled, almost tripled. When you take an MMO and you put it in the free section of Steam, even if it's just like free to play, but then you could buy an expansion like Guild Wars 2 is, there's a lot of gamers out there that are on a budget. And when they're looking for something new to play, the first thing they do is they go to Steam and they look at the free stuff. And even if they might spend money later, they'll check that. So if they were to hypothetically do a Steam launch, which hopefully they will, and they, I'm sorry, I'm distracted by Wade Wilson. Very nice. We're gonna bookmark that for later. Future video usage. Okay, back to what I was doing. If they did a Steam launch that was extremely successful, and the first impression is important, because if they do a Steam launch and then people try the game out and it like lags out or they have like a really bad experience, they will leave, and even if the issue is fixed later, they will not come back. So they have to have a smooth Steam launch, but if they do, they will, it will blow up. They will get like 2 to 3, you know, two times at least the player base. Almost guaranteed. So, okay, continue reading. You only get to launch on Steam once. That's what I said. We want to make sure we do it right. That's what I said. Okay. Over the coming months, we'll be wrapping up work on the Steam integration, cleaning up some aspects of the early game experience, and ensuring that the game and the studio are operationally ready for a new platform launch. We're also working on getting DX11 ready to exit beta and making it the default graphics settings for new users. We're not ready to commit to a hard date for Steam quite yet, but our hearts are set on launching this year. We'll keep you updated as things progress. Okay? Living World Season 1 returns? One of the most frequent pieces of feedback we hear about the new player experience is that it's hard to get into the Elder Dragon storyline without the context of what happened in Living World Season 1. Content that was only available for a brief time in the earliest years of Guild Wars 2. This year, much of Living World Season 1, aka Scarlet's War, will be making a permanent return to GW2 through the Story Journal. We'll be combining the key story moments and experiences of Living World Season 1 into 5 episodes. that will be released throughout 2022. Okay, so a couple of things here. They're gonna have to tweak some stuff. Those of you who weren't here back then, and I played the game before Scarlet's War, but not during Scarlet's War. Lion's Arch was completely different. It got destroyed and they remade it, and it's different. Which means any open world stuff that happened in that zone will have to become instanced. You know, they'll have to make it in like a closed instance to be able to do that. So it's not just like they're, I want to stress here for the people here that, you know, don't work in any form of like IT or dev, they're not just flipping a switch and turning it back on. They're going to have to go to the drawing board with some of this and like, you know, take it apart and put it back together in a different way. We'll be combining key story moments and experiences of Living World 1 into 5 episodes that will be released through 2022. Our goal is to provide a cohesive bridge between the personal story and Living World Season 2 and give players the opportunity to earn many of the legacy achievements and rewards that have been unavailable all these years. The first episode, Flame and Frost, will release April 19th. That is less than a month away. The season will conclude with the the return of Battle for Lion's Arch, which will include a new strike mission and challenge mode. Okay, wasn't expecting a strike mission there. That's cool. We're excited for veteran players to be able to revisit the key moments of Living World Season 1 for the first time in nearly 9 years, and to give new players a better narrative introduction into the expansion and Living World content that follows it. Living World Season 1 will be a free addition to the base game for all players, including free accounts forever. That's cool. For people who don't know, the system as it currently is if a Living World episode comes out, it's free for like a month. If you log in like the next month or so, it is added to your account for free forever. After that, though, it goes in the gem store. And of course, you could buy gems with dollars or gold, but it goes in the gem store. And some people are turned off by the fact that they're like, okay, I just got this free-to-play game, but I have to buy 50 DLCs, and they get scared off. They're basically, they could have monetized this, but they're choosing not to. That's cool. So free edition forever. Okay. World versus World. In the July 2021 ANET Studios update, we said that we view World vs. World as a cornerstone game mode for Guild Wars 2. They do, and honestly, as someone who's played MMOs on and off for 20 years, the World vs. World experience in this game is very unique. Like, I often, when I talk to World of Warcraft refugees, I tell them it's like the original Alterac Valley, but 10 times the size. And it's similar to that, but that doesn't fully capture what it is. It is a very unique experience. But then, when they say stuff like, oh yeah, this is one of our most important things, most of the World v. World players are like, it really doesn't feel like you care about that because they update it very rarely. All right, let's keep reading. The statement still holds true for us, and now that GW2 End of Dragons is released, we can further increase our support for WVW. Our priorities for World v. World are largely unchanged from what we talked about in our Future of World v. World blog post in last September. First, we're actively working on addressing population balance within the World v. World restructuring system. In the blog post mentioned above, we said that we're taking a multi-phase approach to building this system. We're still in phase 1 now, which is focused on standing up the complex back-end infrastructure for the system and refining the matchmaking algorithm. We've run multiple phase 1 betas over the past few months, and after taking a short break to release End of Dragons, we'll be getting back to it. Right now, the team is tracking down an incredibly elusive, long-standing bug that causes queues to reset and throw players back to the end of the line, something that happens more often during the highly active beta events. I love that they just said that. I love that they just said that. Okay, most of you know I worked in tech support for many, many years before I started doing content creation. I love when people are open. Like, even if it's like, it's broke. It just be, we're human. I love that they said, yeah, we got an issue. We've been trying to nail down this stupid thing for a long time. This is what we're currently working on. Thank you. I appreciate you telling us that. Second, we need to make World v. World more rewarding for individuals. We took a small step recently by increasing the speed at which the skirmish reward track is completed, but there's much more we'd like to do, including providing better rewards for active participation. Keyword being active, AFKers. As we mentioned last year, by the way, a little pause there. So, they made it to where you could fish in World v. World. And a lot of people like myself got scared that we were going to have a lot of people like AFK on teams fishing and then the team getting dominated by the other team because they didn't have fishermen. However, the only thing you fish up is like seaweed or something, which is worthless. So they allow you to fish there, and then they give you like a 1 copper item and be like, see, stupid, you shouldn't have done this. Which is like somehow a little bit more of a slap in the face than just not allowing fishing there. They allow it, and then they're like, ha, you're dumb. Don't do that. As we mentioned last year, population, balance, and rewards are addressed. Our theory is that World v. World gameplay will see a significant shift. At that point, we intend to look very hard at core World v. World systems, such as upgrades, scoring, siege, etc., and balance them to ensure that World v. World experience is still reflecting our vision. Speaking of balance, profession balance has a huge impact on the World v. World experience, whether you tend to play as a roamer, havoc player, or you choose to run with 49 or more of your close friends. This brings us to the next area of focus. Profession updates. Balance and maintenance of Guild Wars 2's extensive combat system, including the latest elite specs released with EOD, it's important for keeping gameplay engaging and varied across PvE, World v. World, and PvP moving forward. We'll be making professions and elite spec updates a higher priority. I would love that. I'm skeptical. Please do it. I'll believe it when I see it. Our plan includes quarterly profession updates with smaller releases in between as we monitor and respond to how the meta in each game mode takes shape. So really quickly here, like how many times, like anyone here, have you played a game where like something was OP? And it could be anything, probably Firebrands. In PvP, PvE, something was OP, and you're like, I can't wait for them to fix this. And then it takes the developer like, I don't know, friggin' 6 months. And then by then, a lot of people have already quit the game because it wasn't addressed in a timely manner. Like, they need this. They need to do this, and I hope they do this. Because, if you're like, oh man, they buffed this guy too much, or they nerfed me too much, but if you know another update's around the corner, it doesn't hurt as bad. Yeah, well, no, we don't care about Catalyst. We're talking about the everybody else. I'm sorry, Catalyst. In addition to the number of tweaks you're used to seeing, the team will be revisiting some underpowered and underused weapon skills, traits, or utilities for each profession. Thank you! In each profession update to help expand your arsenal. We will continue to make game mode specific balance adjustments as needed. Okay, I've had people before ask me on stream, because they think I know everything, and they're right. And they're like, Muck, what would you balance in the game? And multiple times the answer I've given is if they have the ability to look at what percentage of the top players are using each skill. If they can just like look at skills and be like, 40% of mechanists use this, or this is used a lot in PvP but not in PvE, just data. And then they find something like this. And they're like, 0.001% of players use this skill, and the guy that does dies in Queensdale a lot. So he's probably not that bright. If they have that data, my approach to balance would be find those skills that are never ever used and change them. I mean, you could buff them, you could just replace them outright, change it to something completely different, just change them. Like those 4 new ranger pets that they got in EOD, yeah, that's great. They've got like 32 that are never used because they're trash. Like, I mean, you could just, you've already got the graphics and the animation set, just tweak the numbers, change those things around. Give them some. I don't even play Ranger anymore. That's just an example. I would love to see them sometimes, not all the time, not every time, but sometimes do a balancing approach where they're like, wow, no one ever uses rocket turret. Maybe we should change this. What's up?
Doorbell.
Doorbell? Just ignore it. It's fine. They can be not here. Okay. All right. Back to the reading. So yeah, I like the idea of this. We'll see how it goes. We will continue to make game mode specific balance adjustments as needed. We'll be releasing some PvP and World v World balance changes in the March 29th update, and our first major profession update will drop June 28th. Some balance changes in the March 29th. That's in 7 days. So there will be some PvP and World v World balance changes in 1 week. And then a major update June 28th. June 28th or June 2028? Shut up, Julian. End of Dragons continued. This month, the team is focused on polishing up GW2 EOD by addressing content balance issues, exploits, and bug fixes. Oh my god.
Richard Grieco.
Please hold for a word from our sponsors.
All right. Welcome to Flavor Town.
Okay. This month, the team is focused on polishing up GW2 EOD by addressing content balance issues, exploits, and bug fixes. Your feedback has been immensely helpful in this regard. I'm really glad they're working on exploits. There was one recently where elementalists were, like, they were not downstate, and it was clearly cheating. And I'm really glad that they addressed that so quickly. They just nipped that right in the bud. And we're continuing to watch conversations around rewards, meta difficulty, elite specs, and others. Please continue to share your thoughts with us and keep an eye on the forums and our social media channels for updates. We're also working on finalizing the 4-strike mission challenge modes, the first of which is slated to release April 19th, less than a month. We've already heard a lot of positive feedback about the design of these encounters, so we're excited to see the community tackle these epic encounters over the next few months. The first new variant for Gen 3 legendary weapon types will drop May 24th, themed after the fearsome Elder Dragon Zaitan. Details on how to unlock these variants will become available closer to their release. Any guesses as to what the second variant will be in June? I mean, if they're starting with Zaitan, I think the next one will be Mordramoth, right? They're possibly doing them in the order that they came out. Finally, we're happy to confirm that we're working on the next story update for GW2, including a new map set in the Cantha region. I think this is a good moment to really quickly point out something that was shown to me by others. I'm going to go down to the Cantha section of the map here. Recently, Great Turtle Highlands, Drowned Canang, and Kirin Peak appeared on the map. These were not there at launch. These appeared there later on. Possibly one of those. The story and how we tell it can go in so many interesting directions now that the Elder Dragon threat is addressed. Spring 2022 roadmap. let's see, EOD, End of Dragons updates, 4 challenge mode strikes, 2 legendary weapon variants, Living World History, Season 1, Ep 1 and 2, Festival, Super Adventure Festival, and Dragon Bash, Gameplay Systems, Profession Update, World v World Alliance Betas. Here's a look at our major release dates for the next 3 months. March 15th is End of Dragons Polish build. Oh my god, the Poles are getting their own build. March 29th, Super Adventure Festival and EOD Polish build. April 19th, Living World Season 1, Ep 1, Etherblade Hideout Challenge Mode. May 10th, Zoonlight Jade Junkyard Challenge Mode. May 24th, Living World Season 1, Ep 2, Kanang Overlook Challenge Mode, New Legendary Weapon Variant. June 7th, Dragon Bash Festival, Harvest Temple Challenge Mode. June 28th, Balance Update, New Legendary Weapon Variant. World v World betas and bonus events will be announced once their dates are locked in. Further transmissions. We've made... someone said we got this news March 22nd and it's March 15th. Yeah, I mean, that just means that they're already polishing. Further transmissions. We've made some significant strides over the last year when it comes to communicating with all of you, studio update blogs, live streams, roadmaps, postmortems, and much more. It's been very gratifying to see our effort on this front received positively by the community, but we want to do more. It is. And honestly, okay, if I have to say this, if any of you that are watching this happen to be like a small business owner, or you're just like a manager, or like you work in anything above the bottommost tier at whatever occupation you do, people like transparency. There will always be some people that are unhappy. That's always going to happen no matter what you do. But most people, I firmly believe this, most people appreciate when you're just open about something and you don't try to sweep it under the rug. Like, oh, that never happened. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, no, just tell them. Like, yeah, oh yeah, on this day at this time, script broke. Here's what happened. It was Bobby's fault. We gave him a slap on the wrist. We've made these changes so it never happens again. Blah, 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 blah. Moving forward, we'll be publishing a regular State of the Game blog post to keep you informed on the latest development news, address top concerns within the game and the community, and give you an inside look into the studio and the development of GW2. The content of these posts will change with each iteration, but we hope that they become something you look forward to reading and discussing. There's still plenty left to discuss. I wonder how often regular is for that sentence. The future confirmed. One last update before we go. We're happy to confirm there will be a 4th expansion? They're announcing that now? Like 3 weeks in? For Guild Wars 2. We mean it when we say we're focused on the long term. This is a very early confirmation, the earliest we have ever done. Don't expect news anytime soon. Expansions take a very long time to develop, plus there's plenty of cool things to look forward to between now and then. On behalf of the entire ArenaNet team, thank you for your continued support. We sincerely believe our best years as a studio are ahead of us, a new beginning that starts with GW2 End of Dragons. Talk soon. Amy, Colin, Josh, JT, and the Guild Wars 2 team. Wow. Wow. Even the fact that they've been greenlit for a 4th expansion 3 weeks in. Dude, okay. Oh, man. I'm excited. So people have asked me, like, is this the end of the game? And I'm like, no. They have said multiple times that this is not the end of the story. However, they said story. That could mean another expansion. That might just mean more Living World episodes or more patches, or maybe they're going to make a book and sell us a book. I don't know. But they've said it's not the end of the story. And then people have been like, do you think they're going to do it? And I have said it probably depends on money. Like, let's be real. If hypothetically they sold End of Dragons and like it didn't sell well, the parent company above ArenaNet. Now, I want to be clear here. This is my speculation based on my own experiences and what I think happened. I would guess if the End of Dragons didn't sell well, the parent company would not greenlight another expansion. They wouldn't be spending money on this. But they said that the total player base had doubled recently. Doubled in the last few years. And that probably, got ArenaNet and their parent company to be like, you know what? People still like this game. All right, yeah, you can do another one. No, there was probably, there was a lot more, political words in there, but I bet that's what happened. That is wonderful. That is freaking awesome. So, yeah. Anytime somebody says dead game, I want you guys to have that link on a hotkey and just like slap them with it. Dead game, population just doubled. It's going to Steam, roadmap, and another expansion. They got green-lighted for a 4th expansion in 3 weeks? In less than 1 month after the 3rd expansion, it did so well, their parent company green-lighted a 4th one. What's the link? I just put it in the chat, but there it is again. That is awesome.